hour is here.
Check it out.
And you're locked on to Utah's highest rated, most listened to sports radio station.
It's my station. It's my station.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, let's do it. Let's make some donuts. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Happy Tuesday, everybody. How you doing, Hans?
Well, I'm good. And if I ever decide to become a college coach, grab me by the arm and just say, hey, Hans, do you remember that time when BYU was 9-1? And everybody wanted to focus on the one loss. And people were calling for coordinators' heads and wanted heads to roll and wanted quarterbacks to be benched. And people were just so upset about the 9-1. And just remind me of that.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, yeah, I do remember that. Maybe I won't do it.
Because, I mean, we've never gone into specifics, nor should we, but you were offered a coaching job at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
This was, I think, before we started doing the show together.
Yeah, it's been about 15 years, 14 years.
Do you ever go, what if?
Never.
I don't think so.
No, I've never done a what if.
Yeah.
The radio thing has been so much fun, and then, we caught this show, and this show's been a blast for 10 years.
Yeah.
And there were a couple years where I was like, geez, this radio thing can really suck.
Two in particular?
Yeah, it's just this is the longest 4 hours every day of my life. So, it can be bad.
Yes.
But it's supposed to be fun.
Yes.
And we're supposed to have fun and have opinion. And every once in a while, we'll step in a cow patty, get manure on our foot, and you have to suffer the consequence of it. And I hate that.
Yeah.
I've also kind of hated, it's been difficult, the last, whatever it's been, 7 or 8 years as wokeness has really escalated. And every word you say, it feels like it's going to be held against you. And that's been tough to do radio through.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, oh, did I just say a phrase that was a 1784 phrase that referenced some type? I remember I talked to you once because you had said something during a broadcast.
During a basketball broadcast. And it was just a turn of phrase that I've used. Well, I don't use it very often, but I grew up, it was around, and I don't even want to say it now, even though it's a fine phrase, but I was
we know what it is now.
I'm in the middle of a basketball broadcast looking up Urban Dictionary, and the phrase that I used just to be like, could this be taken the wrong way? And then I found out that it was fine, but yeah. I was like, at the time when I said it, I was like, no.
Yeah, the woke culture and the wokeness of things has made radio kind of difficult because everybody wants to get offended and feel like everything is just on the edge of complete disaster and, you guys should all be taken down for it. So that's been kind of hard to work through. Luckily, that's going to turn a little bit. At least it feels like it's turning a little bit.
Feels like we're coming back to a little bit of sanity on that.
Yeah, which needs to happen. For instance, if some player gets caught on audio during a game or after a game saying a phrase that it's offensive, yeah, it's trashy, but you know what? He's saying it during the course of a game. Do we got to fine him $100,000 and rake him across the coals? No, it's such stupidity. We've gotten to such a stupid place in this country with that kind of garbage. Let's just turn a deaf ear and turn away. It's not hurting you. Walk away from that crap. But it's those kinds of things over the years have been kind of tough. But for the most part, sports radio has been the joy of my life.
100% with you.
And, here we are just in the middle of getting ready for this BYU-Arizona State game where it feels like everything's on it. And, Utah has got to find a way. They've got to get off this 6-game losing streak. They cannot go on this way. They can't finish 8 games in a row. They can't.
No.
They've got to find a way to get bowl eligible, and bowl eligibility is still there.
Oh, yeah.
And they can do it. And it's I am so glad I'm not a coach.
Yeah.
So let's just take the Utah thing, for instance. All the praise being doted on this staff and Morgan Scalley getting this gigantic raise and coach in waiting, and Kyle Whittingham deserving of a statue in front of Rice Eccles Stadium, and this defensive staff as stout and intelligent as it could be. And then all of a sudden it's do they know how to coach?
They're all bums. Run
Bunch
them
of
out.
bums. Do these bums know how to coach?
Get them out of here.
And it's like I sit in my office and I just sit there and shake my head. So I did a little TV interview with the BYU TV show guys.
Yeah.
And you know, you kind of go into where the staff is, or you know what's happened with the offense, or what's going on with Jake Retzloff, and you're like, for crying out loud, man, we all have our bad days, we all have our bad moments, we all have things that happen to us, and for one reason or the other, it's not maybe what we'd expected.
You know, it's funny, like, you know, a 42-year-old dude makes a mistake at his accounting office on his TPS reports. And everybody's like, you know what, Bob, you got a bad day. You got to be better. And Bob's like, I know. I'll be better. I'll be better. All right. Okay, you got to be better, Bob. Yeah. I know. I'll be better. And guess what? He's better. He fixes the problem and turns his TPS reports all to the right managers, and everything's fine. But yet that same 42-year-old who was given a lot of grace at his work all of a sudden is screaming at some 20-year-old, like, get him off the field. He sucks.
Bench him.
Fire all the coaches. Get rid of all of them.
Second underthrow and a fade.
And look, I love the passion, and frankly, the passion keeps us employed, so I shouldn't be telling you how to fan, but maybe just tamp it down just a hair.
I know, man. So I'm sitting there, and I'm going through it in my mind, you know, what happened in a couple of plays that they were asking me about, and I'm going through it in my mind. And the one thing I know for a fact, I know that everybody from Harvey Unga, the running backs coach at BYU, to Coach Woods, the O-line coach, all the way up to Aaron Roderick, the coordinator, every one of those guys knows 1,000 times more about that moment, about the personnel that was on the field for Kansas, about the play that was called, why it was called, about the underthrow from Jake, about actually, I think we got the matchup we wanted. I think we did, because we had a big tight end that was lined up at an X that was being guarded by a 6-foot corner. Yeah, he's a good one, but there was no safety over the top. Safety was inside and walked up, so there was nobody guarding that back quarter. Nobody. And if you just throw it in the right place, you would think Tavatase could go up and beat somebody to the jump or have it just go out of bounds. And here we are raining down hell on these guys. And they're asking me, Hans, why would you do that? And I'm like, I know what those coaches go through.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not a coach. So you ask me if I've ever regretted not taking that job, which, by the way, the wagon that I would have hitched to, I would be in a really good place right now.
Yeah.
I'd probably be making quite a bit of money, and unless I ripped a tongue ring out of a kid's mouth and chucked it into a hayfield like I did in high school and got fired. I think maybe that happens.
He deserved it, though.
He did deserve it. He wore tongue rings to practice when I told him not to. I told him that tongue ring could get shoved right through the roof of his mouth.
You were doing him a favor.
Yeah, I'm like, kid grief, stop wearing tongue rings.
Son,
man.
I'm doing this for your health and safety.
How stupid can you be?
Out of an abundance of caution.
But we're going to take that out.
Yeah.
No, we're not. Okay, then I'm going to take it out.
Yeah.
But I look at what these coaches go through. The depth of game planning. Okay, think about this, Scotty. Think about spending, because I know how much time you spend on a typical football broadcast. And you know how much. So, you know, what we do with our boards and the numbers and putting some things together. Now add another probably 15 or 20 hours of film review.
Yeah.
And maybe another 8 to 10 hours of actual game plan implementation. Because I'm guessing that's the amount more time that they put into it. And then having somebody question your call and be like, what kind of idiot is going to sit there and talk about a formation, a percentage, when this is the case? And you're like, hey, I put a lot of time into that.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit there and question me? Well, how stupid are you? And then you have to keep your mouth shut, because what I'd love to do is have Morgan Scally bring his defensive scouting report that he just put for Colorado together and bring it and set it on the table and say, all right, this is what we were thinking Colorado was going to do. And this is the plan we had for Colorado. And then this is what Colorado did to us, and this is some of the adjustments we tried to make, but they had this outlet, and this outlet's really tough to cover. And if people could just look at it and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Well, first off, it would go over everybody's head. And that's what I joked once, because I'm still really good friends with Tim Duryea, who's now a Boise State assistant for the basketball team. And my first year going up to Boise, I got to the arena a little early so I could go in and set up. So I walk into the arena. Nobody stops me. I just walk in, and Boise State's going through walkthrough. And so I'm setting up my gear. Well, Leon Rice, who's the head coach over there, sees me over there, knows that I'm associated with Utah State, and loses his mind. Starts screaming and yelling, and security all of a sudden runs and like, what are you doing in here? I'm like, I'm setting up my radio gear. You can't be in here in this time. I'm like, all right, fine, walk away. Well, afterwards, Tim Duryea comes up to me. He's like, hey, sorry about that, man. But, he's pretty, he doesn't want the secrets getting out. I'm like, Tim, you know me. You know that you could describe in great detail what you guys are going to do, and I still wouldn't understand it enough to relay that to the Utah State coaches because I'm dumber than rocks. And I'm like, you know that you've forgotten more about basketball than I'll ever know. And so it's like me trying to read Greek and then translate it and give it to the Utah State coaches. Like, trust me, like I get it. I understand why he was mad, but just know there's nothing you could throw out there that I'd be like, oh, I got him now. And I'm going to call up Craig Smith, and we're going to go now. It's like,
now that they know this, the game is over.
Because I fully, and that's kind of how I broadcast too, and that's why I love doing the show with you, because I could be like, Hans, this is what I'm seeing. Is this right or wrong? And sometimes like, yeah, no, you're right. Or sometimes you're like, no, you're wrong. Or this is why it's happening. I can describe what happened. You can describe why it happened and everything else that goes into it.
And sometimes I look at you and I'm like, I don't know. So we're going to have to check in with somebody. And you and I will call coaches and be like, so tell me what's going on here. But I can tell you this, on that fade play that everybody is having 10 dead baby cats over. That's an old Idaho.
Yeah, it is.
I'm having 10 dead baby cats about it.
I haven't heard that one in forever.
Forever, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
But everybody's having 10 dead baby cats over this. Well, it's the matchup that you wanted. It's just a bad throw.
Yeah.
Just put it over the top and see if you can maybe get some sky out of Tavatase and at the very least tip it out of bounds. Like, who cares? Just not the underthrow.
Yeah.
And I just go back to those moments, and now people are having a complete come apart. Like, oh, Arizona State's going to dominate them. Vegas has got Arizona State as a 3.5-point favorite right now, at least as of yesterday.
Yeah, you get 3 points at being at home. It's pretty much a pick 'em.
Let's see where we're at right now. I just out of curiosity. So right now, Arizona State is a 3-point favorite. Over the over under is 48.5.
Yeah. That's a good number, too. I don't know. I might go under on that.
Take an over on that, I think.
On Utah? Or BYU, State? Oh, BYU, Arizona State. Yeah, I would take the over.
BYU, Arizona State?
Yeah, I could see that being a 28-24 game.
Here's the numbers Arizona State's put up. 42, 35, 24. BYU had some good numbers, and BYU's kind of taking a nosedive, but they've gone 41, 38, 37, 22.
Yeah.
13. Man, that 13-point fall off, it's a dramatic fall off. And there is a lot of me that understands why people are in a bit of a panic. And I was also going through this with those guys this morning. That the pitch option, I went back and took a look at it again. And I know that you've seen this. Do you remember when Jake Retzloff pitched it against SMU?
Oh, yeah, the fourth down play.
The fourth down?
Yeah.
Do you remember how much he engaged that DN before he pitched it?
Yes.
He was kind of being hit
he got his bell rung hard on that.
Yeah, he got popped. He didn't force the DN engagement. So he pitched it a little bit early.
Okay.
And then there was a block on the outside that could have been sustained a little bit healthier on the outside to give a little bit more room. But if Jake dives at the line with the ball, pitches late, probably forces the end and gives just a touch more seam. But when you start playing high-level competition, Arizona State's going to be high-level competition. The margins just narrow so much that the execution has to be so precise. That's why BYU holding Kansas to 17 points was nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah.
Because you've got such small margins against Kansas. They have so many weapons that have so much speed. And remember, this is a Kansas team that put up 48 points, was it, against Iowa State? Let's see. The week before, they put up 45 points against Iowa State. They went 45 points. They only mustered 17 against BYU.
If you would have told us before the game that we're not going to tell you how many BYU scores, but Kansas will score 17. Does BYU win that game? All of us and 10 dead kittens would have said yes.
Yes.
BYU wins that game and wins it handily.
All in unison.
Yep.
All of us in unison.
Yeah.
Okay. So you and I have laid out now our grievances, and we have made it very clear how we feel. There's some under execution from players, and the coordinators, they could be better. I'm sure they've got things they regret. Okay, now BYU Arizona State. The outcome on that, I'm going to be handling it different next Monday.
Yes.
If they score 13 points against Arizona State and they look inept, then
it's go time.
You and I need to start talking a little bit.
And I've
saying, wait a second.
I mean, I've said all season long, there's no way BYU's going undefeated. It's not in the, you have to have a really, really crazy special season to go undefeated.
Yeah.
It's just people forget, as great as LaVell Edwards was, he went undefeated one time.
As great as Kyle Whittingham is.
One time. Urban, one time. Now, Urban did it in 2 years, but, you get my point.
But it was once, and it took him 2 years to do it.
And so, look, let's be honest here. It is really, and he did it in the Mountain West. He didn't do it in the Big 12.
Did he ever do it with Florida?
I think he had that's a good question. I think he had an undefeated season.
Did he have one with Florida?
With Lord Tebow?
He might have had one with Lord Tebow in the quarterback rotation. Didn't he run it 2 quarterbacks?
Oh, yeah, with Chris, is it Chris Leach?
Is it Leach? Is it Leach
and
Winky?
Leak or?
Oh, Leak.
Chris Leak? Is that
I think
who
it is Leak, yeah. But they're very tough to come by.
Yeah.
Very, very tough to come by. Okay, so a couple of interesting things. BYU has had some good offensive performances. I don't want people to forget that.
Yeah.
BYU's had good offensive series, good offensive drives, and they've done some really good things. Probably the best offensive performance altogether was probably UCF in the first half. And I talked about the multiple drives. They had 4 drives of 70-plus yards in that game. Including the open possession. They went 8 plays, 75 yards for a touchdown. But did he go undefeated?
Never went undefeated at Florida.
Never. Okay, I wasn't sure if he did have an undefeated.
But he went undefeated that first year at Ohio State. But remember, Ohio State was ineligible for postseason play because of some sanctions. So he went 12-0 his first year at Ohio State.
And didn't have a postseason.
And wasn't able to play postseason. But then after that, he never went undefeated.
Stop cheating. Maybe you get a postseason. You cheating bum.
Well, I mean, he took over for the cheating bum.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Not to say that he's clean.
I still think he's a cheating bum. So, okay, I was just looking at this, Scotty. BYU has scored off of, and these are drives or points off of turnovers, okay? 1, 2, they scored twice against Utah off of interceptions, okay? They went 3, 1 off of UCF, 4, 5 against Oklahoma State, 6, 7, 8, 9 against Arizona, 10 against Baylor, 11-12, 13-14 against Kansas State. So in their 7 games, wait, is that 7? Yeah, 7 games in Big 12 play, they'd scored, was it 14?
Yeah, 14.
14 times off turnovers.
Wow.
In their 7 games they've scored, they're averaging 2 scores per game off of turnovers. Now, that's touchdowns, that's field goals, but that's points off turnovers. And they've only not scored off of, I think, 2 turnovers. One against Kansas and one against UCF, where they didn't score off of a
crazy
turnover. So,
and you're not including special teams touchdowns in that either.
Nope. If you add special teams touchdowns, there's another 2 that's in there. But it's really impressive what the defense has done to give BYU good possessions and good scoring opportunities, and what the special teams have done. The problem is if the defense and the special teams disappear, offense can't get it done.
Yeah.
They won't do it against Arizona State, which essentially that says the defense has to give BYU, at the very minimum, 1 possession somewhere around the 50 or inside the 50 in an effort to get the touchdown on the board against Arizona State. BYU should be good for maybe 1 or 2 8-play, 75-yard drives that can find the end zone, but you've got to get those special teams and defensive helps. But that's what you've had. It's been consistent. That's how you got to 9-0. That's how you got to 9-0. And then that's kind of how you went back to 9-1. Because the 1 interception that they got against Kansas, you remember the pressure from Batty? Mm-hmm. And then the pick from, was it Mark Collins? It was Mark Collins, I believe. The pick from Mark Collins, and they didn't score. And they should have.
Yeah.
So those are the things that you've got to have. But I am not ready to put it on Roderick. And the other thing that's hard for me, people might think, Hans just doesn't want to criticize Aaron Roderick. I'll criticize him. Yeah, I'll take him down to Chinatown. I don't care. I will. I'll criticize him. He's all business and I'm all business.
Yeah.
We have a job we got to do. So I will criticize him.
And he knows that.
And he knows that.
Yeah.
The dude raised 2 NFL draft picks at quarterback. If he had Keaton Slovis, and I do know for a fact that Keaton Slovis did get injured at the back end of that season. So people thought that he got benched. He got injured.
Okay.
And it's not that Slovis was incredible, but Slovis was chopping along, and I think they would have got bowl eligible with Slovis.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think that there was probably a win, if not 2 wins, through that 6-game stretch. I think that they would have found one. If Slovis was healthy, I think they would have found it. Especially those final 4 games where Jake Retzlaff couldn't get the win.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So you go Zach Wilson to Jaron Hall to Keaton Slovis, and now you got yourself 9 wins with this Jake Retzlaff, this Jewish kid out of Riverside City College JUCO that went 0-4, and you got yourself to 9 wins. I want everybody just to stop it. If this thing tailspins, we'll get into it. If they look abysmal against Arizona State, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But 9-1, I'm not ready.
Yeah. Hans and Scotty, this is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Here's Derek Carr talking about the best football player he's seen.
Hayesham's the best football player I've ever played with.
He really is.
He can do everything. Throws, runs, catches, fullback, quarterback, tight end, receiver, slot, blocks punts, personal protector. That man is a Hall of Fame football player.
No higher praise than that right there. Derek Carr pumping up Taysom Hill.
This whole time, he's been wildly underutilized. He's a special athlete. There's few athletes to his ability. I would say Taysom Hill is the best athlete ever to come out of BYU football. Hill isn't even close to BYU's best quarterback. Not saying that.
That's a different thing.
You don't come across an athlete like that very often, I don't think.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This segment brought to you in part by Go Pave Utah. If you're a Wasatch Front business or property manager, don't wait for the bad weather. Well, you don't have to wait. It's here. Schedule professional snow service. Professional snow service. Say that 3 times real fast.
Professionals, I can't.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's a tongue twister.
Lloyd, give it a shot. Professional snow service.
Professional snow service.
Fast.
Faster.
Snow service.
Faster.
Professional snow service.
Faster.
Professional snow service.
Okay, fine.
Oh, you messed it up.
No, I
on that
didn't.
last one. Yeah, you did.
Look at you, mister. I'm perfect at everything.
You linguist.
Hey, you fired up for this Gladiator too?
No.
Hell no.
No. I'd rather have sand thrown in my eyes.
It does look like it's got the potential to be a real crap show.
Maximus Meridius is dead.
Is that Denzel Washington?
Yes, it is.
Denzel's in this?
Yes. Yeah, you know, Denzel hasn't made a good movie in a while.
You know what? Those equalizers aren't bad.
Oh, do you like those?
They're just, if you're on an airplane and you just want to kill some time and watch people get ripped apart by Denzel Washington, it's not horrible.
It's been a while, though, since Denzel made a movie that really stirred my guts. Probably
So
Man on
what
Fire.
is it? Like, if Maximus is dead, what do you do? What's from there on out? What is it?
This is just a remake, is it not?
No. It's a sequel
Then why does everything look the exact same?
because it's just set like a year after. Or something.
After Maximus is dead, what happens after? Sweet.
Yeah.
Boring. I mean, what's his face made that movie anyways, and he's dead too.
Ridley Scott?
No, not Ridley Scott.
Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe's dead? What? Did you kill Russell Crowe?
Hey, Juice. Who are you talking
Russell
about?
Crowe is dead.
Are you talking about the older guy?
I'm
that played
talking about. If you would only love me.
Joaquin Phoenix is dead?
Yes, he's dead. He stabbed a knife in his throat.
Oh, in the movie.
The movie, not in real life. No. Are you thinking real life? No, the movie. Those guys are gone.
Okay, I thought you said Joaquin Phoenix was dead.
That's what
Well,
I
he
thought.
might
I thought
be.
you
And
were
Russell
saying the
Crowe's
actor.
dead. I mean, we saw how badly that second Joker movie did. So maybe.
But both of those guys died.
In the movie?
Yeah.
Yes, I know. That's what. When I saw it, I was like, wait, what?
So I think it's his kid. I think it's like set like
His
15
kid
years.
was killed.
No. I think that he knocked up the princess or the queen or something like that.
Who's?
Oh wait a minute, no, that was Braveheart.
See, now if you want
Now
to
I'm
do a
getting-
Braveheart remake, there we go.
Now I'm
We got
getting
something to work there.
Yeah, no, now I'm getting my Braveheart
Yeah,
Mixed
you did.
up.
You did. You mixed up Braveheart and
Gladiator.
I'm not excited. I'm not going to watch it.
Even if you find out, like,
Won't do
let's say
it.
Lloyd comes in and goes, "Hey, Hans, I actually watched it and it was really good." You won't do it.
He doesn't even take my advice on any other movie when it is good.
No, that's not true. He takes your advice more than he takes my advice.
Yeah, I just watched some movie you told me to watch. It was pretty good. I
What
can't
was it?
remember what it was though. Hillbilly Elegy, I think.
I didn't tell you about Hillbilly Elegy.
Yeah, I think you told me to watch that.
Elegy? No, I didn't.
Which, by the way, I did watch. And
Hillbilly what?
Elegy. It's about J.D. Vance's life.
Oh, okay.
So the woman that plays his grandma is
Wait a minute, the guy's not even VP yet and he's got his own movie?
he had it for a long time. He wrote a book.
Well, I know the
That's
book, but they
that's
made a
what
movie
him,
out of it?
Yeah, it's what made him famous was his book. And they turned that book into a movie well before he was even in government. You know, he's only been doing.
Was it The Bone Collector? Did you watch The Bone
He's
Collector?
only been in politics for 2 years.
Did you watch The Bone
No, I
Collector?
haven't.
Because I told you that one. That one's good.
Is that the one where there's like the he gets possessed, the possession goes from like person to person?
The Bone Collector?
Yeah,
No.
with Denzel. What one's that one?
That one's
Blade.
no, it's not Blade.
Denzel's not in Blade. That's our good friend Wesley Snipes.
Glenn Close plays
Glenn-
his grandma.
Glenn Carey, Glenn Close.
Glenn Ross?
No, Glenn Close plays his grandma in Hillbilly Elegy, and that is one of the most brilliant
Well,
performances.
Glenn Close, hell of an actress.
She is incredible. in
I
that
will
movie. So
not-
It was a good suggestion, Lloyd.
Just keep your rabbits away.
I will
from Glenn Close.
I will not be ignored. Same movie as The Rabbit.
Just keep your rabbits away.
She'll boil your bunny.
Oh man.
Oh, what? You haven't seen that?
He has. He's just not
No.
thinking of it right now.
What?
He has.
Tell me the movie.
Well, now I'm spacing the name of the movie, but it was
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction.
I have not seen that. Have not seen it.
Oh, you got to watch that. You got to watch that.
I have not seen Fatal Attraction. That's just one of those ones that for some reason it's slipped by me.
That'll scare the bejeebers out of you.
Really? It's good?
Oh, yeah. That's a good movie.
Maybe I'll give it a try.
You might think less of the female demographic after that.
Well,
Tell you what, keeps. I'm sure it saved a lot of marriages. Keeps men from a wandering eye. Let's just say that.
and let's say this: both genders can get weird.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt.
I was such a, I used to get a little bit possessive back in the day. I'm still pretty possessive of Amanda, but like I'd be dating a girl, and she'd say she's one place, and I'd have to drive by and just see.
No, you did not.
Is she where she's saying she's supposed to be?
Jeez.
And when they weren't, it was like, all right, well, let's move on. Time to move on.
Thank goodness you weren't around the time of the air tags.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got an air tag in the back seat of Amanda's car.
These kids nowadays can't get away with anything.
Nope.
It's so bad.
I love tracking my kids. Oh, I mean, it's so much fun.
What's funny, I won't do it. I don't do it. But Amanda is like Tabs. I'll be like, hey, where's Mackie? Who's in college? How's Mackie doing? Oh, she's at the gas station. No, that's not what I'm asking. How do you know that?
Her car has been sitting there for a whole day. What is happening?
At the gas station.
Why is it not moving?
Oh, man. These tracking devices on kids nowadays. Oh, I told you about the car insurance thing.
Oh yeah, that's a scary thing.
Yeah, so I'm...
Is it going to save you money though?
Well, so Amanda just pulled up my account, and she said, you're going to cost us money because you got 1 star out of 5. So it gives you a star rating so that you know.
Really, you're the worst driver of the family.
Well, that's what this is saying, which I don't believe. But
I kind of believe.
No.
And it's not that you're a bad driver. You're just an aggressive driver.
Good afternoon, Hans. Valued customers since 2024. It's Progressive car insurance, because our car insurance went from $500 to $780 with Bear River. And I'm like, what? So I called Progressive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you get us down? And Progressive's like, well, you and every one of your kids that's on the plan has to download this app.
Yeah.
And if you show that you're a good driver, then we can get you under $500. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So we downloaded the app, and the app's telling me I'm not so good. Kids are all good.
Kids are good. You're not good.
Kids are all good.
Well, I wouldn't show Rock that thing.
Well, I didn't even know it, but Amanda pulled it up, and she walked into the room, and she's pushed the phone in my face. You have 1 star out of 5. You're going to cost us money. I was like, all right, I'll drive better. So I'm gonna, yeah.
I think if you got what, 5 drivers in your house right now?
I'm gonna try. So, yeah.
So you guys
about to add 6.
So you're batting, 80% of you guys are good drivers.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That's not terrible.
That's not terrible at all.
So you know what I found out?
What's that?
Because I play YouTube music on my way home.
Yeah.
So if your phone is actively engaged with the internet, then it gives you a bad star rating. So I have to go in and I have to confirm that I was not holding my phone and that it was static while it was playing the YouTube.
So doesn't part of you feel like this is a little bit of an invasion of privacy? Like that you gave this insurance company
a lot.
Like complete access to how you drive? And
a lot.
Don't you have to attach something to your car?
No, it's just the phone.
Just the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the bigger part of me feels took by car insurances.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Are you guys feeling the pinch on car insurance?
Mine hasn't gotten crazy yet. And I've got 2 kids driving, and it's not great. I mean, it's scary, but it's still less than what I was paying before. So I'm pretty happy with my company.
We took over a $200 jump a month.
That's not
and Lloyd probably only pays for his car insurance.
Just wait, Lloyd.
No kids yet. No kids yet on the car insurance.
Didn't Jackie try to sneak behind the wheel though?
Yeah, of course.
What do you and Mama pay for car insurance?
It's still expensive.
Is it over 200?
No, it's
under.
It's under.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not over 300.
Yeah, because adults like an adult that does not have a deep record, you can find a policy for $70, $74. If you have a son that's a teenager, it's $130 to $150 to insure that kid.
A little loose at times.
With 4 accidents.
By the way, I was on that path. It was not a good path. It was about to lose the license. Did you have some
young accidents?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had a heavy foot and made bad decisions. Lots of bad decisions.
1247, Hans and Scotty. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We'll announce this week's HOOLOW winner coming up next.
Hey, bro. You hear us every day with our crazy opinions.
Hey, what you doing?
Well, now, it's time to hear from you.
Hey, great show.
Download the KSL Sports app and fire up your thoughts with the call-in tab on the bottom of your screen.
Your show is fantastic. It's the one that captivates me the most.
You can tell PK to stop singing.
Cheap bangs! Cheap bangs!
Let Jake and Ben know what you really think of the Jazz. Woo! Tell Hans and Scotty about your favorite barbecue spot or what color of tie JJ should be wearing on TV. The best entries will be played on the air. Download the KSL Sports app now and hit the call-in button to let your voice be heard.
I think you guys do an incredible job.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready, go.
Some people want to reward the quarterbacks and receivers, but for Hans and Scotty, it's all about the big uglies up front.
Somebody's got to block them.
It's time to name this week's winner of the Hans Olsen Offensive Lineman of the Week. And now, here to announce this week's winner of the prestigious HOOLOW Award.
Good job, well done.
Here's Hans Olsen.
All right, Hans, it is time for your weekly HOOLOW Award, the Hans Olsen Offensive Lineman of the Week.
I'm excited about this one because he comes with an incredible nickname. Because of his ability to guard a quarterback, they call him Cole Moats.
It's like digging a big old trench right around that quarterback and saying, none shall pass.
You shall not pass.
In fact, he was once heard asking a defensive lineman, do you have a drawbridge? And he said, no. Why? And he said, because that's the only way you're getting to my castle.
I don't really appreciate that you're pulling from what I said. I don't like that you're doing that.
Lloyd dropped that on our text thread this morning. And
you laughed at me.
If we could car crash a text thread, we would have done it.
Yeah, I wish we could have. But Scotty, just go into the depths of what this offense did in the run game and in protections and in overall offense against a good Hawaii defense.
Hawaii came in with one of, if not the best defense statistically in the Mountain West Conference, and Utah State ran the ball for over 300 yards rushing in that game. Put up a double nickel, 55 points, and just ran roughshod over that defense. And again, for a season that has not gone Utah State's way, you got Rasul Faison, who had almost 200 yards rushing by himself. And those dudes are just road graders. You know, Cole Moats, you got Teague Anderson, you've got Pulealo, you got all these dudes out there that are just playing extremely great football right now. And these guys are just, again, road grading. And it's been really fun to watch because, again, the season has not gone Utah State's way. But when the strength of your team is your offensive line, and I got to think, if you are being talked to by Diana Sabo about becoming the next head coach at Utah State, what position group are you looking at and saying, what's that look like for next year? And that would really impact your decision positively. And if I know that I'm inheriting, now granted, you got to keep them around and you got to keep them out of the transfer portal, and that's a big issue. But I think there's ways you can do that by keeping their O-line coach.
Yep.
But if you're looking at that job and you're saying I have continuity, experience, and talent on that offensive line, that's a good job. And then you throw in the running backs and the wide receivers that they'll be returning to as well. So there's a lot good about Utah State. And if I'm looking at that job, and I see that I've got a really good offensive line that potentially could be back next year, that makes that job even more appealing.
For sure it does. And would you say the running back room?
Yes. Yep. Because you lose Faison, which is a huge loss, but Herschel Turner is going to be a star. Robert Briggs, who was right there, he was 1A, 1B with Faison. He goes out with an injury in week 1, a season-ending injury. He's back. So you got Herschel Turner, You got Robert Briggs, and then you've got a couple of other youngsters who have shown some great flashes as well. So that room's jam-packed and ready to go.
Man, if this team had a level of defense that could have kept you at around 25, 28 points a game, you'd have won a lot of games.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Just 25 points a game.
That's all you got to do.
And this defense just really struggled. I hope that they can get this win against San Diego State. That would be a really nice feather in the cap.
Yeah, and that would be
that team.
3 out of the last 4 games have been wins. And if you can close it out against Colorado State, win 4 out of your last 5, then I think Nate Dreiling probably gets back into the conversation as maybe he should be the guy.
Maybe he should be around. Is Cole Motes a junior?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for him. Happy for him. Happy for the offensive line. Happy for the running game. 300 yards of offense on the ground is ridiculous.
Especially against a really good Hawaii defense.
Yeah.
All right, Hans and Scotty. Hey, guess what? It is a Tuesday. We should have given them away a little earlier, but we're still giving away tickets. Call right now, number 12, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. And Hans, we're not just giving away Jazz tickets. You get to see the Joker, the Jazz, and the Nuggets at Delta Center November 27th. You want those tickets? Claim those tickets. Caller number 12, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. Caller number 12 wins tickets right now. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.